arreglar.
¡Menudo error!
No soy un guerrero. Solo soy un pobre trabajador.
God, please keep us.
goes a long way with us northern girls.
Maybe, but it's a goodly price, obviously. What's on your mind, then? Thanks for the business.
¿Cómo se sentiría si yo le mirase los calzones?
Hice una oferta.
Podría servir. Oiga, no había necesidad de eso.
Buenos dias. Mr. Duncan Walpole of England to see the governor. I believe he is expecting me.
Sí, señor Walpole. Entre, por favor. ¿Ese es el hombre? ¿Cómo lo llamabas? ¿Asesino?
Sí, Duncan Walpole. Debería haber llegado hace muchos días.
Parece un hombre rudo. Le suponía un aspecto más respetable.
Llevo meses en alta mar. Sé indulgente con él.
No me gusta que los extranjeros se paseen por nuestra ciudad. No me fío de ellos.
Cállate. El gobernador tiene invitados. Todos franceses e ingleses.
Good morning, sir. Would I be correct in thinking you are Duncan Walpole?
I am indeed.
I thought as much. Woods Rogers. A pleasure.
The same.
I must say, my wife has a terrible eye for description.
I'm sorry.
My wife. You met her some years ago at the Percy's Masquerade Ball.
Ah, quite.
She called you devilishly handsome. Obviously a lie to stoke my jealousy. Julianne, our guest of honor has arrived, Mr. Duncan Walpole.
Ah. Julien Ducasse. I hope your conversion to our order is an honest one. I have no love for assassins, but even less for liars.
I have not come to disappoint.
Up for a bit of sport, Duncan? The old man isn't ready just yet.
Pull off a few shots if you like. Get a feel for it. You've got my two best pairs of matched pistols, Duncan, so handle them with care.
If I had 8, I'd treat each as my own son.
Quite.
I once fought...
All right. Here's a simple challenge. Try to strike every target before this hourglass empties. Remember, hit every target within the allotted time.
Magnifique.
A good hit. Wonderful. You're a cracked shot, Duncan. As good with a pistol as with your wrist blade, I imagine.
Duncan, where are your wrist blades? I've never seen an assassin so ill-equipped.
Damaged, sadly, beyond all repair.
Uh-huh. Have your choice.
Where did you find all these?
I did not find them. I took them. These are souvenirs. Two blades, as is the custom, oui?
Custom, aye.
Duncan, will you indulge us with a demonstration of your techniques?
Well,
We must. We put together a training course in anticipation of your arrival. It would be a shame to leave here without seeing you in action.
yes, of course. Well, I mean, if there is time, I would gladly, show you what I know.
Here, you see? Situations well suited to your skills.
Have a go. Quite ingenious to use bales of hay for cover, don't you think? God, that's the spirit. Secrecy. The advantage of surprise cannot be overstated, isn't that so? Especially around a blind corner. God blind me, that's a clever trick.
Is it also possible to deliver a killing blow at high speed? Mon Dieu, such a powerful strike! You're magnifique. Oh, splendid.
Fine work, Walpole.
The assassins have trained you well, Duncan. You chose a perfect time to leave them behind.
At great risk, I imagine. Betraying the assassins is never good for one's health.
Well, neither is drinking liquor, but I am drawn to its dangers all the same. And what is your business here, sir? Are you an associate of the governor's, or a pending acquaintance like myself?
Guns, blades, cannons, grenados. Anything that may kill a man, I am happy to provide.
A smuggler of sorts.
And how is your wife these days, Captain Rogers? Is she, here, in Havana?
I trust she's well, but I wouldn't know. I've been in Madagascar some 14 months hunting pirates. It took some work to dislodge the criminals there, but we managed it. In future, I hope to use these same tactics throughout the West Indies.
And how did you deal with their kind?
Very simply. Most pirates are as ignorant as apes. I merely offered them a choice. Take a pardon and return to England penniless, but free men. Or be hanged by the neck until dead.
Oh. I imagine Nassau would be your next target.
Very astute, Duncan, indeed.
Best of luck with that.
Grandmaster Torres! Mr. Duncan Walpole has arrived.
See. You were expected 1 week ago.
Apologies, Governor. My ship was set upon by pirates. We were scuttled. I arrived only yesterday.
Unfortunate. Forgive my caution, but were you able to salvage from these pirates the items you promised me?
Yes, sir, I was.
Increíble. The assassins have more resources than I had imagined, but not nearly enough to deter us. It is a pleasure to meet you at last, Duncan. You are most welcome. Come, gentlemen. We have much to discuss. Convened at last, and in such continental company. England, France, Spain, citizens of sad and corrupted empires. But you are Templars now, the secret and true legislatures of the world. Please, hold out your hands. Mark and remember our purpose. To guide all wayward souls till they've reached the quiet road. To guide all wayward desire till impassioned hearts are cooled. To guide all wayward minds to safe and sober thought. By the Father of Understanding's light, let our work now begin. Decades ago, the Council entrusted me with the task of locating in these West Indies a forgotten place our precursors once called the Observatory. See here. Look upon these images and commit them to memory. They tell a very old and important story. For 2 decades now, I have endeavored to locate this observatory, a place rumored to contain a tool of incredible utility and power. It houses a kind of armillary sphere, if you like. A device that would grant us the power to locate and monitor every man and woman on Earth, whatever their location. Only imagine what it would mean to have such a power. With this device, there would be no secrets among men, no lies, no trickery. Only justice, pure justice. This is the Observatory's promise, and we must take it for our own.
Do we know its whereabouts?
We will soon, for in our custody is the one man who does. A man named Roberts, once called a sage.
It has been 45 years since anyone has seen a true sage. Can you be sure this one is authentic?
We are confident he is.
The assassins will come for him.
Indeed they will. But thanks to Duncan and the information he has delivered, the assassins won't be a problem for much longer. All will be made clear tomorrow, gentlemen, when you meet the sage for yourselves. Until then, let us drink. Let us find the observatory together. For with its power, kings will fall, clergy will cower, and the hearts and minds of the world will be ours.
Governor Torres requests your presence at the docks near the Castillo. First thing tomorrow morning.
I'd like to have a closer look at this strange diagram.
You? Not again.
Have you any room? I can pay.
What? And have another brawl wreck the place? Out with you!
Your loss, mate. I know where to find some privacy. And what he can't see won't trouble him.
That's it. Get him.
they've no room for a scoundrel like you either, eh? This could be the key to my fortune.
Maldito tiempo. Pronto estaré calada hasta los huesos.
Una turba de linchamiento. Oh, ¿quién lo habrá orquestado todo?
Alright, we met a couple characters, so I'll read through them. Julien Ducasse, born 1682 in France, nephew of the buccaneer Jean Ducasse. Julien was born in Montpellier, France. He followed his uncle's example and took to sea at a young age, eventually joining him in a few skirmishes during the War for Spanish Succession. Fighting on the side of the French and by proxy on behalf of King Philip of Spain, Ducasse's skill as a gunner improved rapidly, even as he grew wildly disillusioned with the monarchy and its obsession with lineage and breeding over raw talent and skill. In 1704, ordered by his superior officers to join his uncle and hundreds of French troops in what would become known as the Battle of Malaga, Ducasse opted instead to desert his post and seek his fortunes in the New World. At first he threw in with slave traders in Africa, and for a year made a modest profit off the venture, but he was never comfortable with the cruelty and detachment the job required, and so departed for the West Indies in search of yet another vocation. For the next 10 years, Ducasse roamed the West Indies as a hired gun, working for whomever had the coin and confidence to pay him. Ever prizing the value of intelligence and skill over mere reputation and breeding, Ducasse eventually found his way into the company of Laureano Torres of Cuba, in whom he found a friend and confidant. Laureano Torres y Ayala. Born in Havana but raised in Madrid, Spain, Laureano was of noble stock, the son of Tomas Torres y Ayala and Elvira de Cuadros Castellanos. He joined the Spanish army in his late teens and was later appointed as the governor of Spain's territories in Florida, a post he held from 1693 to 1699. He then returned to Europe to participate in the War of the Spanish Succession. In 1708, Torres was appointed as the governor of Cuba, a post he held for 3 years until he was accused and arrested for corruption. He was acquitted of these charges, however, and managed to win a re-election bid in 1713. During his time in Cuba, he made many lasting improvements to the city, fortifying the island's defenses and introducing the production of tobacco. He remained governor until 1716, after which point he retired and devoted his life to charitable functions such as building hospitals. Alright. The Sage. Historic archives contain scattered references to individuals known as sages, but they are few and far between. Each citation seems to refer to a different person living in a vastly different time and location. The earliest example was found on a Sumerian clay tablet and cuneiform script, while the latest survives only as a footnote in one of Laureano Torres's own journals, dated January 1704. In all, according to exhaustive research, 7 different sages seem to have graced the world stage in the past 1,200 years, but the real number is likely higher. Perhaps the strangest aspect connecting each of these various sightings is that, in every case, visual descriptions of each sage are remarkably similar. So similar, in fact, that one wouldn't be faulted for assuming they were talking about a single immortal man. However, in 2 of these 7 citations, explicit mention is made of their death and burial. Is this therefore some bizarre form of reincarnation, or some simpler explanation that is presently unknown? More research is required. Woodes Rogers. Born 1679 in England. Woodes Rogers was born into money to a seafaring family with deep roots in both Poole and Bristol, England. His early life was a picture of industriousness and ambition, and by the age of 18 he was an apprentice mariner. Upon his father's death at sea in 1706, Woodes inherited his family's prosperous shipping company, which he took to managing with great passion. Between 1704 and 1707, Rogers' fortunes and family grew, and by the time he was 27, his marriage to Sarah Whetstone had produced 1 son and 2 daughters. By the end of 1707, however, his business had suffered great losses by raiding French forces, giving Rogers the idea to recoup these dreadful losses himself. Knocking about Bristol in search of a partner for this endeavor, he soon found himself in the company of William Dampier, an old friend and unlucky captain who suggested setting out on a privateering expedition, one that would range far and wide about the New World. In 1708, Rogers made the necessary arrangements and set out as captain of his own vessel on a difficult voyage that would last over 3 years. Along his course, Rogers met with many successes and failures. In 1709, of the western coast of South America, he found and rescued a marooned sailor by the name of Alexander Selkirk, a sailor who had spent nearly 4 years living in isolation and who would serve as the inspiration for the book Robinson Crusoe just a few years later. Soon after Selkirk's recovery, Rogers' fleet engaged an enemy vessel in open combat, a skirmish that earned him a pistol shot to the left side of his face and a mangled heel. Neither wound was enough to remove him from command, however, and he continued serving as captain until his return to England in late 1711. To commemorate this return, he had an operation to remove the offending bullet from his upper palate. Now in poor health but high spirits, Wood set about writing his memoirs. Upon their publication, they were an immediate success and proved a great source of income. But this brief glory was offset by the sudden death of his son, a tragedy compounded some months later by his wife's decision to leave him. Also at this time, Rogers was sued by former shipmates for allegedly hoarding goods and money plundered from enemy vessels. Rogers assembled a defense, but lost the case. In 1713, itching to return to sea, he organized passage to Madagascar, claiming to be a merchant in the slave trade, but with the intended purpose of reconnoitering the rumored pirate colonies established there. When he arrived in Madagascar after months of hard sailing, he found that the legends of the pirate town Libertalia had been exaggerated 100-fold. The pirates in Madagascar were sickly and few and desperate for help. After spending just a few months there, Rogers set sail for England, a failure in his own mind. And yet, never one to give up hope, Woodes Rogers reoriented his attentions to the West Indies, eventually lobbying King George for a commission to hunt pirates in the Caribbean. On this score, he succeeded. After a few diligent years of making his case, King George appointed Woodes Rogers as the governor of the Bahamas. Now, at last, he would make his mark and bring justice to a land where chaos had taken root.
Hello. Good morning, Duncan. Just over here. Edward? Hello, Edward. I found a man to purchase my remaining sugar. Huh?
Quite a coup, I must say.
He just called you Edward.
Oh, that's the merchant who sailed me here. Out of caution, I gave him a false name.
Ah, well done.
We'll catch up on it later.
Very punctual, Duncan. This way. Here he is. A man both Templars and assassins have sought for over a decade. I am told your surname is Roberts. Is this so? You recognize this, I think.
According to old tales, the blood of a sage is required to enter the observatory.
We have the key. Now we need only its location. Perhaps Mr. Roberts will be eager to provide it. Transfer him to my residence.
Such a fuss over one man. Is the observatory really such a grand prize?
Sí, sin duda. The observatory was a tool built by the precursor race. Its worth is without measure.
Precursor race? I see.
One of your early letters mentioned a desire to kill the Mayan mentor, Atabay. Were you able to carry out this contract before coming here?
I was not, no. Too many complications along the way.
A pity. But the maps you delivered with Ebile will see that job finished.
Aye. That's the idea.
It's too quiet. I don't like this route, Torres. We're exposed.
Something is wrong. Stay close, Grandmaster.
I feel it too. Do not let them get their hands on the sage, at whatever cost.
Assassins!
Assassins.
Guard the sage! Proteger al sabio, vamos!
Protect the governor! Life is mine!
Une deuxième tempête se lève. To the governor's residence, quickly! Watch the streets and alleys. They could be anywhere.
Above! Above! They're on the rooftops! The governor's residence is near! Come! Another way! Protect the sage!
Life is mine!
No toleraré ese tipo de comportamiento.
Easy.
All fall, yet still they come.
You're a nimble one, I'll give you that. Hang back and make this easy on both of us, mate. Stop, or I'll kneecap you! Ha! Nowhere to run.
Have you ever been flayed, boy?
Got you!
Well done, lapdog.
Quiet.
We'll see him to the prisons, Grandmaster.
Double the watch.
Well, I'll be buggered. What an active day we've had, gents.
See, beset on all sides by our enemies, we must be more cautious.
I do wish I could remain to see our drama done, but I must avail myself of these winds and sail for England.
By all means, Captain, speed and fortune to you.
Good luck. I'll return myself a governor. And with my idiot king's blessing, no less. Adios.
As for you, Mr. Walpole, I consider this the first payment in a long-term investment. Gracias.
Obliged.
I would like you to be present for the interrogation tomorrow. Call around noon.
Yes, sir. All that toil for this pittance. Jesus.
Tenías que haber estado allí.
Sí, el mosquete desató su poderosa furia y destrozó al enemigo de Daniel. Y señaló...
¿Qué ocurre?
Este es mi mejor género.
Me vendría bien uno.
What can I do for you? Done. Come back anytime. What's on your mind then? Our pleasure. See you next time.
Estoy de acuerdo.
Can't pass these assets by now, can you?
¿Sí? ¿Sí? ¿Qué ocurre?
Así que el carcelero mete a los prisioneros en jaulas. Nos facilita la vida.
No todos eran prisioneros. He reconocido algunas caras.
¿Qué dices? ¿Hace esto a sus propios hombres?
Solo cuando le decepcionan. Si le ofenden...
That's a
es
lot
aún
of Spanish
peor.
steel. Just how much is this sage worth?
¿Por qué has hecho Edward? What a marvelous surprise! Come, have a drink.
God sink me for this pittance. 1,000 reals for those maps. That's what? £100 at most. How's a man supposed to become rich in these times with a miser like Torres running the world?
Have you ever worked on a plantation before?
You know what I'm thinking? I'd like to see this observatory the governor's going on about. He said it were like a device that could follow people around and show where they were.
A ludicrous idea. Imagine my wife with such an advantage over me.
And imagine what a thing like that'd be worth. Sell that to the right person and I'd be the richest pirate. Privateer in the West Indies.
I'll catch you up, Bonnet. There's a sage in that house I must speak to, in private.
You should have paid me fair, Torres.
Ducasse mentioned a prison. Time to find it.
To free the sage, I'll probably need a key. My guard in the watchtower is looking lively. Poor bastards in the gibbets. Lost their ears.
trama ahora el carcelero?
¿A esta hora? Nada bueno.
Carcelero.
El
That's
carcelero
Warden.
ha pedido que todos los hombres se reúnan en el patio.
¿Por qué? ¿Es por el prisionero?
No lo sé.
I don't know. We
Debemos
should
darnos
hurry.
prisa.
¡Muévete y acabas como él!
Sois unos cachorros tan torpes como la perra que os parió. Una tarea sencilla y la habéis cagado. Me encantaría pasar esta espada herrumbrosa por vuestras gargantas imberbes. Pero aún debemos arreglar este desastre. ¡Fuera de mi vista! ¡Largo! Antes de que cambie de idea.
¡Sí, señor!
Año tras año buscamos los engendros más necios. Calzamos el uniforme.
I wager Roberts will be behind the door that fits this key. Jesus. What happened here?
¡Basta ya! What is your true name, rogue?
It's, Captain Pissoff.
Rien qu'un pauvre paysan.
Where is the sage? Did you set him free?
I had nothing to do with that. Much as I wish I did.
Take him to the ports. Send him to Sevilla with the treasure fleet.
Oh, wait now! I delivered your treasures, didn't I?
You did, yes. But you robbed us of Duncan Walpole.
Edward?
Ahoy, Dove. How are you feeling?
No worse. Just a bit of nausea that won't let go. Have you been at the pub?
I only had one pint to save up some coin so I could bring you this.
Is it chocolate?
Aye. It's from the Americas. I mixed it myself. Go on, have a taste. You see, as a privateer, I'll find all manner of novelties in the New World. We'll be the talk of Bristol. So, how's it feel to drink like a duke?
Edward, My father is a merchant. I've had chocolate many times.
Have you?
Have you not?
No.
Go on then.
Oh. It's nice.
We'll save the remainder for after tea. Oh. Thank you, love. This was so very thoughtful of you.
La cena. Cómetela rápido.
You hungry?
Now what's your plan, mate?
Find my weapon and steal a ship. Soldier!
Unlucky lads.
I saw the guards store our weapons up front.
Follow my lead.
Que Dios nos ayude. No me gusta.
La cena. Cómetela rápido.
You hungry?
Now what's your plan, mate?
Find my weapon and steal a ship. Soldier!
Unlucky lads.
I saw the guards store our weapons up front.
Follow my lead.
Que Dios nos ayude. No me gusta la pinta de esa tormenta.
Good form. At least we stand a chance.
I am not dying here. We're stealing a brig. Hey, take what you need.
Won't be a minute.
There's many prisoners held on these ships. Set them free, and they'll sail with us, no question.
So that's the idea, then. Free what men we can, then find a fast ship to flee in.
Aye, there's a brig in this fleet. I'll make my way to it. There's many prisoners held on these ships. Set them free, and they'll sail with us, no question.
So that's the idea, then. Free what men we can, then find a fast ship to flee in.
Aye, there's a brig in this fleet. I'll make my way to it. Ah!
There's a catch to this favor. You're sailing with me.
I'd follow you to hell for this, mate. ¿Qué nos está retrasando? Ya deberíamos haber hecho la mitad de la ruta a las Bermudas. Oro, plata, jade, tabaco, lo que se te ocurra. ¿Y agua qué? ¿O comida? Me preocupa más mi estómago que...
¡Más rápido! ¡No debemos perderlo!
Got you! Come on, lads. If we're to drown today, it won't be here.
Preparaos para partir. Casi tenemos encima la tormenta.
There's a brig nearby just waiting for us to take her.
¡Deja de retorcerte, pirata!
We're going topside. Be ready. Let's depose the captain and make his ship ours. Lay aboard, lads!
Save your singing for Davy Jones, you jagabats! It's a hard wind coming!
The man speaks true. You lot weigh anchor. As for the rest, half on the foremast and half at the main. Let's outrun this hurricane! Bark any orders you think wise, mate. We're up against it here.
These men know their place. They'll see us home.
Keep watch on those galleons. See they don't give us trouble.
They will. Far too slow for this weather.
I see it.
The seas tried to swallow us. Right wave to starboard!
Fasten yourself!
Brace for impact! Fire! Brace yourself!
Steer clear of that thing! Bring the top out!
That's our course.
Godfrey Elijah, we made it! What a mess, Jesus!
Oh, by God, we pulled this one straight from the teeth of Neptune. I'm Edward. Much thanks for your aid back there.
Adewale.
You ever been to Nassau, Adewale?
Not yet.
By God, she took some knocks, didn't she? I think I'll keep her. All hands aft, lads! We're taking this one home! I've made my choice, Addy. I'm calling her the Jackdaw. A sly bird I loved as a child back in Swansea.
A dark little creature, no?
Did it rub you wrong when I took this brig as mine own?
It was the sort of rub I have learned to endure, sailing among faces of such fairness.
It's true. Most of these men wouldn't accept you as a captain. So what fair role would complement such unfairness?
I'll be your quartermaster. Nothing less.
All right. And as quartermaster, have you any immediate counsel for this Tyro captain?
Rest and repast would do us good before Nassau. Water for drinking. Hunting for food and repairs.
Well reasoned, sir. Hunting, it shall be. We'll find a decent place to drop anchor.
Swim as near the wind as you dare!
I spied a few items in the hold earlier. Powder and a few pistols. think I'll fashion a second holster if I can.
It's a good start.
One you find laughable.
Could we talk a moment about the condition of the ship?
What's the trouble?
I had a walk about the gun deck this morning, and couldn't stand for what I saw. A clutter of linstocks heaped like tinder, and one with a slow match still burning.
Christ.
And just nearby, 2 barrels of gunpowder, closer than man and wife. Fit to explode at the touch of a spark.
We'll stow ours good and proper.
As for the cannons, they might as well be tossed. Clogs, touch holes in need of scraping, corrosion on the bodies, barrel swabs as naked as knives, and breech ropes so rotted, I could use them for knitting yarn. The short of it is, we need good equipment kept in fine condition. But we cannot win every battle with snares and shouts. So worry about your own armament when it suits you. But don't forget about your jackdaw as well.
No, indeed. We'll make a point to keep this ship and its crew in fine condition.
To that end, we're gonna need a proper shipwright. We should keep our eyes open.
Abaco Island isn't far off. If we anchor by the shore, we could restock it.
There's blue smoke here! Fast as you dare! Ease her off! You heard the captain! Toast the gallants and royals! Fire! Batten yourselves! Fire! Fire! Loose and trim too! Give everything she's got! Set her back! Fire! Douse all but mains! I said douse! Douse before, hurry! Full sail! Crowd it all! Fast as you dare!
Looks to be a camp there. We should drop anchor alongside.
Aye. Square up, lads! Stay sharp and expect trouble! Get the tops and royals down! Clew up foremast rig!
Well moored, lads.
Let's see what we can find. Paw prints. Smaller than a jaguar's. Animals have been in the fish. Something mauled these men. The crates are unspoiled.
There are ocelots about. They have skins that would make for a good holster.
I'll see about those ocelots. Have the crew load the supplies on the jackdaw. Not bad. The ocelots have built their own nest there. It'll do. I'll need more of this. That's enough to fashion a holster. The crew have their provisions, and I have my holster. Could be something in those pockets. This marks something. We've provisions enough to sail for Nassau. Should be some old mates there.
looks to be something in that one.
Peter Beckford the Elder. Of my employer I must say something, for it was owing to his connections that I came to find such troubled dealings. Peter Beckford was a man of great charisma and pride. In 1662 he had come to Jamaica, and in just 10 years had fast procured himself a sizable portion of land, which he sowed with cane as early as he was able. Upon my coming into his orbit, he owned, claimed all about him, one of the largest private holdings of land in all the world, rivaling only kings and emperors for his largesse. The same surplus applied to the number of slaves in his employ. Whereas he had arrived in Jamaica with a complement of 3, he now owned the better part of 300. A shrewd and relentless man of business, Mr. Beckford was known to be subservient to a temper of cyclonic power. Wrath and fury and enmity were his primary means of settling arguments that could not be concluded in Mr. Beckford's immediate favor. He was, however, always kind to me, and as gracious a man as one could hope an employer to be, but this I put down to my status in his eyes. He was a traditional man with a respect for rank and breeding. In earlier times he had been the governor de facto of the island, and though a statesman no longer upon my arrival, he still bore all the signs of a man who felt it his natural duty to lead. Further, his political connections he valued as deeply as his sugar and the money it brought him. And it was in this capacity, following the arrival of a Spanish soldier, that I met the man who would change my life for the worse, forever. A young man named Laureano Torres.
Ahoy, Captain. Find what you need?
My needs and wants are oceans apart, mate. But I did fashion myself a new holster. All I need now is a pistol to lie in it.
Yeah. Taken from the holds, just as you said.
Little more than a blowpipe. But it'll do. So, are we rested? Or should we idle a while longer?
Best way anchor. I think the crew is itching to reach civilization.
You'll find no civilization in Nassau. But it's a fine place to be merry all the same. Clew up the mains!
Let the anchor go!
Catch me some wind!
We're catching the wind now!
Crowd in on, all of it!
Loose tops and royals! Stay your singing! Tie the line!
Captain Queer Knobs. Tell me I'm under arrest. Tell me!
Them your breads.
Fly away, boyo! Back to your master!
Aye. We was privateers together before the wars ended. I'll see you ashore. There will be some familiar faces at the old Avery. Lads there are a churlish sort, but friends all the same. Will be good to see them. And there might be some able bodies about to add to the crew.
Aye, Captain. We'll need more hands. So, this is home.
It's not home exactly. But Nassau is the only place in the world where a pirate can live free. And the scoundrels here, they make for good company. They'll be stirring up trouble at the Avery for sure.
Happy days, I suppose. Though we shouldn't complain, as God sees fit to punish him. The divine plan is set out for each of us as he foresaw and not.
I'll be back. You hear me?
Aye. With the same manners, I don't doubt. Now there's a mug we haven't seen in some time. Welcome back, Edward.
Good to see you, Anne.
Your friends have started without you.
By God, you're a sight for salty eyes. Come you in and have a drink.
Morning, all.
I can wait. Who's this?
Adewale, the Jackdaw's quartermaster.
Jackdaw. You named your brig after a poxy bird.
Ade, these lads are the better part of our growing confederacy here. Ed Thatch, Ben Hornigold, James Kidd.
You let him carry a pistol, do you?
Peace, Ben. Ade saved my life. And now we're looking to find a crew to fill out the rest of my ship.
Well, there's scores of capable men about. But use caution. A shipload of the King's sailors showed up a fortnight back, causing trouble and knocking about like they own the place.
Right. I'll see who I can muster.
Send any men you find to the Jackdaw. I'll put them to work.
Cheers, Ade.
Did I hear rightly? Edward Kenway captains his own ship now.
Aye, and he needs crew. It might be you can help him with that.
If you need hands, you'll find them all over Nassau. But the Redcoats have been taking whoever they can for the gallows.
Aye. I'll save them from the gallows and offer a place with me.
Well then, there's some in need of saving, right here.
Get your hands off me! They'll string me up!
Those heels told me they sailed for King George. They said it were a queer name for a captain.
Well, I'm a captain looking for some crew. We regroup at the Avery.
Aye. You'll find more men in the town square, if they haven't already been hanged.
I was done for till you came along.
Come fast! The soldiers have kept a man in irons. They mean to hang him.
This pirate bears the blood!
Come on, lads! No!
Ha!
You there! Clear out!
I don't think so, mate.
Now we dance!
That should fill the jackdaw. A couple of dullards, but Addy will sharpen them.
What's all this pissing and moaning about? Has something happened?
Soldiers have come, that's what's happened. Sent by the king himself.
There he is. You did good, Edward. Your jackdaw is fully crewed, and the British have learned how we do things in Nassau.
We could have slipped the noose round their necks and given everyone a show. Ha! That bottle. Are you saving a trophy for yourself, Anne?
Aye, away with you. We're saving it for a real celebration.
Now you'll want to sail somewhere rich with plunder.
Have you heard of a place called the Observatory?
Aye. It's an old legend, like El Dorado or the Fountain of Youth.
What have you heard?
It's meant to be a temple or a tomb, hiding a treasure of some kind.
That's it. You see here.
Oh, rot. It's fairy stories you prefer to gold, is it?
It's worth more than gold, Thatch. 10,000 times above what we could pull off any Spanish ship.
Robbing the king to pay his porpoise is how we earn our keep here, lad. That ain't a fortune. It's a fantasy. peace for free men, aye. But have you considered that not all men will fight?
You doomed us. Not my fault.
2 dozen eggs, sugar, butter, some milk, more sugar, more butter, half sugar, and a final
Now, hold
dash
on,
of
my
butter
friend.
with dusty sugar.
Calm yourself. That is unusual.
Ramparts. The fortified walls of a castle or walled city. Ramparts are generally built of stone, several feet thick, and are often topped by a defensive crenellation, sawtooth battlement, providing openings from which to fire. Florida. Home to several indigenous tribes, the Florida Peninsula was colonized by Spain some decades after Ponce de Leon's expedition explored it in 1513. During the age of West Indies piracy, Spanish treasure ships would sail up the Gulf Stream on their journey back to Cadiz. Southern Florida therefore became a natural point of attack for pirates, and the Florida Keys a center of pirate recruitment. In particular, tropical storms famously shipwrecked several Spanish treasure fleets on the shores of Florida. Pirates and others flocked to pick through the wrecks and attack any survivors protecting them. Nassau. Originally founded as another Charlestown, the city was renamed Nassau in honor of King William III of the House of Orange-Nassau. This city has a particularly colorful past. In 1706, the city's officially appointed governor skipped town, thus severing the crown's direct control over the Bahamas. The islands languished for almost a decade in the hands of British citizens with little or no interest in statesmanship. By 1713, the entire region had become a haven for pirates, and it was in this period that Benjamin Hornigold declared Nassau to be a pirate republic. He proclaimed himself governor, and thereafter every pirate of any sense and reputation used Nassau as a base of operation, transforming this small city of barely 1,000 residences into a nest of infamous bastards, according to the governor of Bermuda. Groups. British Empire. The course of the 18th century saw the British Empire become the world's leading colonial power, with France and Spain as its primary rivals. After siding with the Netherlands and Austria in the War of Spanish Succession, the British Empire expanded, gaining territories from both Spain and France, and taking over control of the Atlantic slave trade in Spanish America. Swashbucklers. Often used interchangeably, there are a number of important distinctions to make between these different kinds of swashbucklers. Pirates. Criminals on the open sea who use coercion, intimidation, and violence to rob innocent people of their cargo and transport. The term pirate is a catch-all and may be used generally to refer to all who perform acts of larceny on the open ocean. Pirates have been a problem since the advent of long-distance ocean travel. Every age has seen its share of pirates, and every age has cursed their name and romanticized their cause. During the so-called Golden Age of Piracy, roughly 1650 to the 1720s, the majority of pirates hailed from the British Isles. Most were young men in their 20s, and almost all had already gained some experience as sailors prior to falling into piracy. Buccaneers. Though often used as a synonym for pirates now, the term buccaneer refers more specifically to a group of pirates who lived and operated in the West Indies in the middle of the 17th century. Best known for attacking settlements and fortifications on land in large groups, the buccaneers derived their name from the French term boucanier, an instrument used for smoking strips of meat over an open fire, a favorite sort of sustenance for these terrestrial pirates. Privateers. Non-commissioned sailors who attack and rob, having been given a letter of marque by their king or royal official such as a governor. Thus, the distance between a pirate and a privateer is but a hair's breadth of difference. Pirates simply sail for one monarch fewer. Adewale, born 1692 in Trinidad. Born to enslaved Ogoni parents in Yoruba, Adewale was sold to the owner of a prosperous plantation before his teens. He remained on his plantation working the fields until his mid-teens, always scheming of ways to escape his predicament, but uneasy with the prospect of living life as a fugitive. Then fortune struck, giving Adewale the sign he needed. At some point near his 16th birthday, a group of buccaneers raided the plantation, robbing it of raw cane, refined sugar, and as many reals as they could find. Seeing in this an opportunity, Addy grabbed this crate of sugar and hauled it aboard one of the longboats the buccaneers had rowed ashore. Surprised to see a slave among them, the buccaneers were nevertheless thankful for the aid and welcomed Addy among them. Addy sailed with the first group of men for many years, quickly learning the ways of a seaman, grateful for the chance to develop his own skills and chase his own passions. And though his life among buccaneers was not free of the usual bigotry of the era, Addy found the prejudice to be more confrontational than restrictive. In 1715, misfortune struck a cruel blow when the ship Ade was aboard struck a shallow sandbar near the port of Havana. The buccaneers, mostly British at the time, tried desperately to free the trapped vessel, but after catching sight of an approaching Spanish galleon, abandoned ship only to be torn apart by schools of circling bull sharks. Ade made peace with his fate and stood his ground. Taken to Havana for questioning and inspection, Spanish authorities eventually decided to send Adewale to Spain, where they felt he would make an excellent interpreter owing to his fluent command of Spanish, English, and French. Some weeks later, they loaded him onto one of the galleons that made up their perennial treasure convoy en route to Seville. Anne Bonny. Born 1702 in Ireland. Anne was barely a teen when she left her native Cork in Ireland for the British colonies, and by 16 she was en route to West Indies at side of her new husband, Mr. Jack Bonny, a gentle but sturdy young man in his early 20s. The pair arrived in Nassau in April of 1716, settling down with an unclear idea of what shape their lives might take. Jack eventually found work on one of the small plantations there, while Anne cultivated her ability to loaf and daydream. Unfortunately, her beauty, aloofness, and complete indifference to propriety made her the object of more romantic attention than she had ever known or cared for. Within a year of arriving in Nassau, the Bonnies' marriage was in shambles, a union only in name. While Jack disappeared further into his work, Anne grew more confident and sociable, eventually taking a job as a barmaid at the popular Old Avery Tavern in the center of Nassau. And though she took some lovers over the next few years, it was mostly out of envy and spite that the rabble of Nassau branded Anne a harlot and a tease. But with no high society to shun or shame her, Anne's desirability only increased on the strength of these rumors. Edward Thatch, born 1680 in England. Known variously by different sources as Thatch, Teach, Titch, Tack, and more, it's fairly certain Edward Thatch was born in or around Bristol and took to the sea at an early age, most likely in his teens. It is also speculated that he arrived in the West Indies quite soon after leaving England. If this was indeed the case, Ed Thatch would have seen his fair share of the War of the Spanish Succession, a protracted fight between most of the empires of Europe that pitted Habsburg Austria and its British ally against Bourbon France and Spain. In these early years, from 1700 to 1713, Thatch was a privateer or at the very least a merchant seaman doing his part for the crown, Queen Anne at the time. But with the Treaty of Utrecht bestowing peace upon a troubled Europe in 1713, Thatch and his fellow sailors found themselves far from home and out of work. Thus, they turned to piracy as a means of sustaining themselves. In the ensuing years, Thatch befriended a captain named Benjamin Hornigold, and soon after joined his crew as quartermaster at some point between late 1714 and early 1716. Settling in Nassau, Thatch, Hornigold, and the rest of the flying gang, as these pirates called themselves, began cooking up schemes far larger than most pirates of the era dared dream. Wanting nothing less than a country of their own, they worked to turn Nassau into a place of liberty and freedom for all who desired an escape from the bonds of imperial rule. Calico Jack Rackham, born 1682 in Jamaica. Of the few infamous pirates to call the West Indies his birthplace, Jack Rackham was born in Jamaica at the height of Port Royal's boom as a den of scoundrels. This would likely explain his atrophied moral compass, for he was frequently drunk, rarely serious about anything, and always chasing women. He used his outrageous and offensive charm to keep out of most trouble, but a strategist and fighter he was not. Nicknamed Calico for his affinity for Indian and Asian prints, he was a terrible sailor and a worse pirate, given to flights of fancy and myopic ideas that served only himself rather than solid strategic thinking. He was likely drunk for half of his adulthood and had a weakness for women that trumped all basic needs, such as sleeping or eating. His disarming charm, dazzling good looks, and his swift wit carried him far, but parties can only last so long before someone has to clean up after them. Charles Vane, born 1680 in England. The common refrain in a biography of a Golden Age pirate goes something like this. Very little is known about this man's early life, and with Charles Vane it's no different. It is not known where he was born, or where he grew up, or when he first took to sea, but maybe that's just as well, for it further heightens the mystery of this strange, unstable man. Surely one of the most ornery and unstable of the flying gang, the band of pirates who called Nassau their home for a time, Charles Vane began his career like most pirates of the era, honestly, as a privateer sailing for his king. Likely living in Jamaica in 1715, he was one of many aboard Henry Jennings' assault on a Spanish expedition to recover the gold from their ill-fated wreck in 1715 off the coast of Florida. Barely a year later, it had become impossible to keep up honest work as a privateer, as British governors were skittish about breaking the terms of the Treaty of Utrecht, which called for a cessation of all aggression between the major empires. Having few other options, Vane sailed to Nassau, where many of his former colleagues were now living. Quick to anger and ferociously mean, Charles Vane earned himself a reputation as a difficult captain to sail under. At some point in 1717 or 1718, an old friend, Calico Jack Rackham, joined his crew as quartermaster. The two remained partnered for some time, living and working out of Nassau with the likes of Benjamin Hornigold, Ed Thatch, and Henry Jennings. James Kidd. Born in 1695 in England. Even though not yet out of his teens, James Kidd was a cocky and confident lad with a brashness cultivated to counter his youth. He claimed to be the bastard son of the late William Kidd, the infamous privateer turned pirate who was captured and hanged by British authorities in 1701. Although James had no proof of this connection, his mother always insisted on it, claiming that she spent a single panic night of passion with Captain Kidd just before his departure from London in 1695. Growing up fatherless and with a spendthrift mother did little to improve Kidd's prospects of leading a normal life, and at the age of 12 he found employment aboard merchant vessels sailing between the British colonies in North America and the West Indies. By the time he was 17, he called Jamaica home, where he further honed his skills as a sailor. Although he never sailed the likes of Ben Hornigold, Ed Thatcher, Edward Kenway, James was among the first sailors to settle in Nassau and was a central figure in its development as a pirate republic. Bartholomew Roberts. Originally hailing from Wales, little is known about John Roberts, the real name of the man who would come to be known as Black Bart after his death. Most assume he went to sea at a very young age, at 13 or so, but there is no record of him in any historical documents until his noted appearance in 1718 aboard a merchant ship's Barbadian in origin. Just a year later, Roberts was pressed into piracy by the notorious Howell Davis while working aboard a slave ship under Captain Abraham Plum. Though Roberts had likely not gone to sea with the intent of becoming a pirate, when the opportunity thrust itself upon him, Roberts was reported to have said, "A merry life and a short one shall be my motto." A few months later, Davis was killed in an ambush on the Portuguese island of Principe, and Roberts was unanimously elected to replace him. This was surely a testament to the man's natural charisma and leadership, for he had been a pirate only a few months. It was at this point that he took the name Bartholomew, likely naming himself for the infamous Bartholomew Sharp, pirate of some renown who had disappeared just 2 decades earlier. One of the most intelligent and strategic pirates of the Golden Age, Roberts was a sturdy man, known to dress in fine clothes. Handsome and carrying himself with a dignified but unpretentious air, he had dark hair to match his dark complexion, likely set from the almost 2 decades he had spent at sea. He often carried numerous pistols, each tied to one end of long silk sashes, which he kept slung over his shoulder. Robert's tactical ideas were usually radical but thoughtfully considered. He never jumped into any scheme rashly, though his ideas seemed almost suicidal to those unacquainted with his methods. Ultimately responsible for the theft of around 400 ships in his 3 years' career, he bested every other pirate of the era by a factor of 10 times or more, although it must be said that at least half these boats were small periaguas and the like. Benjamin Hornigold, born mid-1680s in England. Benjamin Hornigold was likely born in Norfolk, England. The first recorded instances of him are of his early exploits as a pirate in the West Indies around 1713 to 1714. Hornigold was one of the earliest pirates to emerge after the end of the War of Spanish Succession, and one of the many hundreds of pirate privateers who were left without gainful employment in the ensuing peace. Like many other British mariners, he spent much of his time in the Bahamas, eventually settling in Nassau. It was from there he launched his career as a full-fledged pirate, though he likely thought of himself as a privateer, in his earliest years at least. A skillful sailor and strategist, Hornigold lacked some of the ruthlessness required to be a truly successful pirate, and until 1716 refused to attack English ships out of a sense of loyalty to his home country. El Tiburon. Born unknown, died unknown. Almost nothing is known about El Tiburon, the shark, outside of his service as the loyal, mute bodyguard of Laureano de Torres y Ayala, the Grand Master of the Caribbean Templars and the Governor of Cuba. The shark's penchant for medieval armor and brutal violence cut a swath of fear through Havana, leaving citizens and soldiers alike quivering in his blood-soaked wake. Iguana. Iguanas are large, herbivorous lizards found throughout the Caribbean islands. The common iguana eats only leaves, flowers, and fruit. Despite their at times fierce appearance, they are not aggressive and typically flee when threatened. However, they can lash their tails and bite if provoked. Iguana are found in Great Inagua, Andreas Island, and Abaco Island. Ocelot. The ocelot is a wild cat that typically has yellow fur with dark stripes in the manner of a jaguar. Ocelots are nocturnal and range from the size of domestic cats up to 4 feet in length. Ocelot hides are coveted by leather workers for their ease of working, patterned fur, soft texture, and durability. Ocelots can be found in Cumberland Bay and Abaco Island.
right! Work around him!
Please listen. I never meant anything by it.
Parish church. Wherever English settlers, merchants, or sailors reached substantial numbers, a parish church generally followed. These charming, practical meeting houses dotted the Caribbean, providing peace and community to the colonials.
Paddy's beer.
Don't make me bother with you. Shift's just about up.
Handiwork on this one. What's the asking price?
This is Nassau, not the bloody Smithfield market. 1,000 reals. Take it or get out of my sight.
I could buy it twice over with the gold in my pocket. Sold, fair madam. Rum and sun have addled these pirates' minds. They don't know. My reals are gone. The trinkets too. God strike down this miserable thieves' den.
Wait. This trinket's a counterfeit. There really is no honor among thieves.
the matter? Are you lost?
There's them that say Nassau weren't the first free republic. There was another, near Ile de Saint Laurent some years back.
How was that one different?
They served no masters. Saved those who would be barriers against the rich and powerful, and guarded the people's rights and liberties.
No different from here then.
Aye, except cleaner and richer. Coins spilled from men's pockets as they walked, they say.
I need some of whatever he's drinking.
Every man jack of them is rotting in a filthy cell. Look, how's it going in the man in the road? How's it not finding that?
I am having many things for to delight you, my friend.
Although absolutely impossible as to speak to understand, those indications should suit a party of 12 or so.
be squirreled away in here.
Victim of murder.
Come and play.
You little shite!
Nice and tidy. was pretty.
Themselves.
I know that one amongst your number is responsible, but no one's owning up to it. Fine, this is what we'll do. If anything is found filched or pilfered from the warehouse again, then each and every last one of you is in for it. You'll see what happens. P.S. Andrew, if I catch you snooping about the rowboats at the islands to the south again, it'll be a hiding for you, Captain A.S.
Move along there.
Listen, Sergeant, you wouldn't happen to have seen a rowboat near the shore, would you?
Pardon, sir? A rowboat?
Yes, a rowboat. Looking mighty suspicious and such.
No, sir. Not that I can recall.
Excellent. Well, let's say you did happen to see one. Be sure to let it alone and don't go poking around inside it.
Yes, sir.
Good man.
Huh?
My Emma, I am doing a horrible and distasteful thing. Eyes have begun to pry, so I am condemning my own men for the crime of which myself I am guilty. You know well these sordid details which I disclosed to you in my last letter home, but take heart, a few more months of profit from the sale of these goods and we will have enough for our daughter's treatment. For her and for you, I would send every last man under my command to hell.
Don't jump the stagecoach. I never said I minded.
I heard my side of it.
ruined everything. Simmer down. I got this.
Have you taken a blow to the head?
a good soul? Find it in him to sit with an old sea dog like me, eh? Oh, lad, you, yes. Go on, come.
What stirs you besides the grog in your belly?
Freedom! What is freedom? Truly? Yeah. I took freedom to be the liberty to act as one pleased. But when you live to be as old as me, you'll realize that there are more important things. To live only for oneself and no other. It's not true freedom, but a cage with unseen bars.
If freedom means choosing what to make of one's life, then surely the choice should be to live as one pleases. If I am in a cage, then let it be one made of gold.
Thank you, lad. for listening to an old sea dog blabber. Here. I got no use for it no more.
Your favourite. Your help is all I ask.